Hello. Good day everyone. This is Sir John Regarde speaking, no, and today we're diving into one of our topics, no, in our end term sa cognitive psychology, which is language and comprehension, no, units 8 and 9. So, this is the part where we ask no kung paano kita balaga istorya, no? How do we communicate and how do we comprehend it, no? How does the mind turn thoughts into words and words into meaning? And for our learning outcomes, by the end of this lesson, you should be able to describe the major components of language, no? Which is your communication, discourse, development, speech, and explain how humans understand words, sentences, and discourse. Discuss how thoughts might interact with language. Identify the nature and common signs of dyslexia. And for our table of contents, no? We'll tackle about the key ideas about language. We'll also tackle about comprehension. We'll also tackle about thought and language, no? How do they interact with one another? And syempre, dyslexia. So, okay. So, let's start with a simple but deep question. No? So, what is language? Ano gid lang language, no? Because language is not just words, no? It's communication. And when we say communication, it's the exchange of information using signals, words, symbols, gestures, and tones. And communication can happen in many forms. No? So it could be through verbal, no, spoken or written. It could also be non-verbal, such as your facial expression, postures, gestures, no. Um, it could also be paralinguistic, no? Your tone, pitch, and loudness. And it could also be visual, such as diagrams, even your memes, no? And even your emojis, no? So when you're feeling sad, you might chat, no, with an emoji a sad man. That way, it is still a form of communication, just not in the form of verbal or not even non-verbal, but rather visual. So communication is basically the exchange of information using signals, words, symbols, gestures, and tones. And its main functions it is to express emotion, inform, persuade, social bonding, etc. Now let's proceed to what we call discourse. So discourse are connected stretches of language such as storytelling, conversation, and arguments. So when we try to talk about larger chunks of language naman, no, mapa stories man daw, conversations or even explanations, we call that discourse, no? Discourse is the whole entirety, kumbaga. And there are two important ideas when it comes to discords, no? Or it's two key components. We have here your cohesion and then coherence. So cohesions are surface connections, no? Such as your pronouns, conjunctions, reference words. For example, here's atong nga PowerPoint. Maria arrived, no? She was tired. So the cohesion here was she, no? And she refers to Maria. And the when it comes naman sa coherence, coherence the deeper meaningful flow which the story makes sense, no? The small words that keep the story connected. Kumbaga, ang meaning sang words, no? Or ang meaning sang whole entirety. And there are three types of discourse: conversation, narrative, and expository. So, let's tackle first, ano siya magambata nga conversation. So, syempre, sa word itself pa lang, you're having a conversation. Interactive back and forth exchange between speakers. Uses turn taking, listening, and quick responses. relies on shared knowledge and context, includes repair when speakers fix misunderstanding. So what do we mean by repair is that, for example, if during the conversation, if wala ay naintindihan, dali lang gid biliwat be paano to gani na, that's an example of repair. Or hindi na amo ni siya, no? So during the time of communication, you can repair, no, during conversation. And then its cohesion markers during conversations are pronouns, discourse particles such as sige, no, or wait lang. Ano to ganyan tabo na example? Alam mo na mga examples ng cohesion markers. And conversation, no, is the most natural type of discourse. And we use this every day, no? And the second type of discourse is narrative. So these are story-based, no, which means it has character, setting, events, follows a sequence, may beginning, may middle, may end, shows cause and effect relationships, and builds a situational model in the listener's mind. And its question markers are pronouns, time words. No? So it's use mas lang pronouns, but ang dugang lang dere sa ila question markers is that they've used time words, no, because they are trying to tell a story, no. Then after, or kung sa Filipino pa pagkatapos, so yeah, sa mga storytelling ng mga kinds of discourse. For example, Mark found a puppy near the gate, no? So may nakita si Mark nga ido sa near sang gate. And then he took it home and fed it, no? So ginkuha yang ido, kag ginpakaon niya sila balay. And then the puppy became his new best friend. So naging best friend niya ang ido. So sa amo na siya nga short nga discourse, no? Which is a combination of words and sentences, the whole entirety, amo na siya mga bata discourse, there was a beginning, a middle, and an end. No? So it follows a sequence and it has characters such as the dog, no? Such as Mark, etc. So kumbaga mo na siyang narrative. And then last but not the least, we have here your expository. So expository, its main purpose is to explain, inform, or instruct, no? Basically, ang ginaobra ko di subong sa inyo. This is a type of discourse nga expository. Because I'm trying to explain, inform, and instruct about language and comprehension under the cognitive psychology nga aspect, no? And it's common in textbooks, lectures, procedures, organized logically, no? May definition, and then after we define, or after the books define, no, it will explain, it will have an explanation, and then it will provide examples such as what I'm doing here, no, when I'm having a lecture, and requires prior knowledge to understand concepts. And for its cohesion markers, ginausar natin ng because, therefore, in contrast, first, next, etc. So those were the three kinds of or types of discourse. Now let's proceed to language development. Now imagine, no, before we go further, imagine a baby class, no? Wala pa siya may nabalaan nga words or wala pa gid siya words. Pero ready na din iya nga utok for language. Di ba ka amazing? And that is scientifically proven, class, because later on you will learn, no, nga our brain kuno is hardwired na or pre-wired na nga dan for language. And if you could remember Noam Chomsky, no, if you ever tackled him before, no, sa DevSci or Intro to Psych, no, he was the one of the pioneers sa mga theory. Sige, so when it comes to language development, this is how children learn to talk. And we have here the language milestones, no? So we have 4: cooing and bubbling, 0 to 6 months, first words during 12 months, or in some books, no, during 10 to 12 months, dara na dan ya sweet spot, no? Maka hambal ng bata sa first word. And telegraphic speech, no, during 18 to 24 months, and then full sentence and grammar during 3 years old and above na. So children everywhere follow similar language milestones even if lain nga countries, no? So most of the time diri na din mga amo ni siyang mga milestones, no, sa mga bata. Some might be delay, no, some might be advanced, but most of the time do amo ni siyang milestones, no, everywhere around the world. Sige, isa-isa ko sila discuss. For 0 to 6 months, cooing and babbling. When we say cooing, it's like vowel-like sounds like ooh, ah, no? And for bubbling naman are repeated syllables, like baba, bama, no? And babies try all sounds, even those not in their home language. Shows early brain readiness for speech, no? Just goes to show nga, even though nga 0 to 6 months pa lang, no? Wala pa gani 1 year old, they could communicate na in a way nga, even though it's cooing and bubbling, ga-exist gid yan, no? Just goes to show nga our brain is pre-wired, no? To have this language. So what do we mean by that? Anong magambal ta pre-wired? Ano gid kung pre-wired daw? We don't need to learn language. Embedded na kuno sa aton. Maski pabayaan mo ng bata, eventually, he or she will learn how to talk, no? How to communicate. It might not be, might not be that efficient or mas nami, but pre-wired lang to communicate, no? So, kung ginatudloan mo pag ng bata, develop sa niya language, then, mas nami pagid no? Mas sagad pagid ang bata. But, nonetheless, no? Our brain is pre-wired to the point nga maski mo tudloan ng bata, eventually, he or she will learn how to talk, no? How to communicate. Anyways, some examples might be, a baby may say baba ba long before actually saying baba or bye bye. And fun fact last, early sounds such as cooing and bubbling sa mga babies, no, are universal in nature. Hindi lang ah, bis hindi lang sa Pinoy, no, gaamo ni kumbaga sa bilog nga kalibutan, no. Biskan Filipino pa na, Japanese, German, or kung ano pa da ethnicity niya kag culture, palariyos lang sound kuno sang tanan nga bata mag-cooing kag babbling, no? Almost all babies or all babies could babble the same way at first. And diri na di sa divert, no, during the first words na. Around 10 to 12 months na dira na daga more specific to the home language na nga kung Pinoy ka do amo na ning sound no sa first words, kung German ka, kung Japanese ka or Chinese amo na ni ang duga specific ng ilang language kumbaga. Okay, so first real words appear like mama, dada, ate, ball. And these words usually refer to important people, foods, and objects. No? So you can see there the examples are mama, dada, ate, balls, because these are the important things or people nga gapalibot sa bata. No? Especially kung anong makita sa balay. And children begin associating sound equals to meaning, no? And start using gestures such as pointing, reaching to support communication. For example, dede, no? While pointing to a milk bottle. Kaya gusto niya na magdede, hambal sa dede, kag i-point niya ng milk bottle. Next, let's proceed to telegraphic speech. Okay, during telegraphic speech, this is the 1.5 years ng bata, no? Pag to 2 years old. So, may sila two-word combination, such as noun plus verb or noun plus noun. It's called telegraphic because it sounds like old telegrams with missing grammar. Speech focuses on important words while ignoring small ones. And vocabulary grows rapidly. No? So, may ginatawag tanga growth spurt, may ginatawag man tanga word spurt. Which means nga gadamo yung word eventually in that small amount of time, no? So during this time 10 to 20 new words kuno per week ang dugang sa vocabulary sang bata. So for example, during this time, no, focus as you can see there's a third nga bullet point, no, speech focuses on important words while ignoring small ones. Focus lang sila sa gusto nila ipahiwatig. No? Like for example, mama go work or ako want tubig or doggy eat. No? So, amo ni siya ang mga speech pattern na sa mga bata during this age range. Hence why it is termed as telegraphic speech. Next, full sentences and grammar, 3+ years old. No? So, diri na di ang bata very talkative na, no? So, children applies grammar rules na. Ginabutangan na nila S for plural and ED for past tense, no? Especially ng mga Westerner, ng mga kids, and even gani sa mga Pinoy man because children nowadays usually ginapalantaw na sa mga English cartoons, no? Or even sa mga YouTube videos, diba? That's why nga sagad na mag-English mga bata subong, no? But anyways, during this time, no, sometimes they overgeneralize rules man, no? Such as in go, ginabutan ED, I go, and mouses, no? But that's a good thing, no? It's a positive sign because just goes to show nga they've learned the grammar rule, no? Kasi hindi sila nga there's grammar, there's sentence structure kumbaga. And that's a good thing. Eventually, ma-refine niya lang na. Can tell simple stories na understand questions, commands, and basic conversational rules. For example, I go to school with ate. This goes to shows nga they learned a rule but are still fine-tuning it. Just like what I've said before, no? So, those are our language milestones, no? Now, let's proceed to mechanisms of language development. So, how do children learn, no? So, we have here mechanisms of biological predisposition, input from caregivers, and interaction and feedback. So, this is the mechanisms of how a children might learn or develop language. First, let's talk about the biological predisposition. So, diri na di siya, no? Humans are built for language, no? By Noam Chomsky. So, we are pre-wired ko, no? As human beings. And the brain has areas specifically for language. So, for our 4th years, no? I think you're familiar na sa Broca's and Wernicke's area. And for our 2nd years, I think you're familiar naman, no? With this concept. I hope so. Since I think nalabyan yun sa intro to Psychman and maybe sa dev site. But anyways, no, Broca's and Wernicke's area are the ones responsible, no, for you to produce language and to communicate and to comprehend language. No, Broca's is the one for language, for speaking. Wernicke is for comprehension. And why is it called that? It's because amo ning mga pilido sa mga nakadiscover. Si Paul Broca for Broca's area and si Wernicke's nalipat sa niya first name. And if I'm not mistaken, they all reside sa prefrontal cortex. Correct me if I'm wrong. But anyways, children learn language even without formal teaching, no? Because we are genetically predisposed, na, no? We are pre-wired. Ara na sa aton genetics, it is embedded na that we will talk eventually. We will learn language eventually. And there's a critical period when language learning is easiest. I think most of us knows this already, no? During early childhood, around 2 to 5 years old, no? And damo na ganambal nila if ang gusto mo balo ang bata mo or maging multilingual yung mga kid, no? You need to teach him or her as early as possible, no? Especially that sweet spot nga 2 to 5 years old. Kay biskan Mandarin pa na masulod na sa pinsar sang bata. Because again, we have this genetic predisposition, no, to learn language or what we call nga LAD. Later on, i-explain ta na kay Noam Chomsky. Magkagto na ta sa theories. Okay, for example, kids pick up English cartoons quickly because their brains are primed for language patterns. Just like I said before, mga bata, no, especially sa mga Filipino nga bata, no, uh, they want to watch mga English nga shows, they want to watch English cartoons, no, even mga vloggers, gusto na nila lantawon, no, mga gamers. It's because we are primed, no, for how many generations nga ginapasa ang genes na to were primed to the English language is because that's the most common nga language, no, that we've used not only Filipinos but all around the world. Okay, next, let's proceed to input from caregivers. So, pasensyahin nyo lang dakon nga PowerPoint kinaguba siguro pag transfer from laptop to PC. Okay, but I hope na makita lang visualization. Anyways, during this time, no, input from caregivers, babies learn from hearing speech around them, no, observational learning through modeling by Bandura, no. Motherese or child-directed speech helps higher pitch, slow, exaggerated tone, no? So kung arab lang na baby mong bata or high mong pitch, no, when you try to speak to a child, no, that helps them as well, no? And then caregivers label objects, repeat words, expand children's sentences. For example, ball, mambalang bata ball. Na kung makita nun ang aton GIF tan sa PPT. Nakuha na dang bata ball, mambal sa ball. Then mambalang parent, yes, that's a red ball. You want that ball? Just go kumbaga gina-reinforce pagid sang parent, no, nga not only nga yes, tsakto na ball na, that's a red ball, no? So that next time, balance ang bata. Red ball pool. That's the color, no? Pwede ko gali i-associate this one with the color and the names ng object, no? So that's one of the ways the child could learn input from caregivers. And then we have our interaction and feedback. So language, grows through back and forth interaction, not just by simply listening. Adults respond to children attempts. Oh, you want the juice? Here's juice, no? And social interaction teaches turn-taking, conversation rules, and tone. So, for example, a baby babbles, da, 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 and the adult would reply, yes, dada's here, no? Which reinforce communication, no? So, the next time around, kung ara na si Papaya, tawag niya dada, no? And as you can see sa third bullet point, the social interaction teaches turn-taking, conversational rules, and tone. This is the time nga ma-develop sang bata paano to have a conversation nga. Kung gatok pa gani si mama, hipos sa danay mamate. Diyon, makita na sa bata, masabat naman siya if maghipos na si mama, no? So, and at the same time, ang tone, no? Ang tone dapat hinay lang, di magsyagit, no? Daraan di mo bala sa bata nga, hindi nagili pwede nga magsyagit. And as you can see here, class, na interaction is really important. It's because this is where ang bata mag-develop, not only sa language, but the rules of conversation, diin siya masulod, no? Paano mag-start conversation. And that's one of the reasons why man nga iba nga bata, no, hindi kabalo maghalubilo, no, hindi kabalo mag-socialize, hindi kabalo mag-istorya. It's because nga they lack interaction and feedback sang gamay sila siguro. No, base si mama kag si papa busy, no, iba si attorney kag doktor, no, wala na time sa bata. So, ang bata din ginastriktuhan pa dapat matuon gid, wala ginapahalubilo, no, sa kapwa nila nga 5 years old, 3 years old or sa peers nila. And paano ng bata maka-develop, no, sa social interaction? Paano yung mabalaan ng rules of conversation, no? So paglabot ka 12, 13, 14, super introverted nga to the point, hindi magistorya siya mga classmates, no? So, yeah, dako gid nga impact, no? Kag hindi basta-basta magpadako sang bata. Anyways, layo na ta sa aton istorya. Let's proceed to the next part, no? So, ari na ta sa theories of language development. Yes, may theories man din. Sabi niyo sa TOP niya lang. So, we have three theories lang man Deb, and it's directly as correlating no sa language development since that's our main topic no. So syempre ara di si Noam Chomsky, which is the nativist theory, and then we also have behaviorist theory by B.F. Skinner or Borjos Frederick. I think you're familiar with him naman sa inyong TOP. And then we also have the interactionist theory, is social plus cognition. So aring nila mga itsura no. So sa interactionist si Vygotsky na da but damo ni silang mga tao, even si Jerome Bruner aram adi. So muna ilang mga books no when it comes to language development. Anyways, let's proceed to the nativist theory. So ano ang bali Chomsky? Ang core idea is that children are born with a built-in language system called the language acquisition device or LAD. And the LAD kuno class contains universal grammar, basic rules shared by all human intelligence. So, amo ni siyang LAD kuno ang kumbaga amo ni siyang pre-wired naton nga universal grammar nga ara kuno sa ulo naton or embedded na sa ulo naton which shares the basic rules for all human languages. And this might explain no why children learn language very quickly even without perfect teaching. So si Noam Chomsky gina nagpa sikat sa mo nga idea. Okay, now let's proceed to B.F. Skinner's behaviorist theory. So I think most of you us no na kabalo na siguro kung ano gini ang theory ni B.F. Skinner. It's all about the stimulus with the reinforcement, and then the response would be the initial behavior, no, the ABC theories, no. So its main core idea when it comes to language development is that language is learned no the same way as other behaviors through imitation, practice, and reinforcement, no. So through observational modeling, no, or through practice, repetition, and even reinforcement. And children will repeat sounds and words that are rewarded or praised, no. So for example, mambalbing bata na nga, dada, dada, mama. Then mambal, oh, very good. Amo na, yes, si dada na. Na, that would be reinforcing, no? Praise mong bata, or we could go even further as a reward, no? For example, every time magambalang bata, milk, milk. Tagaan sa gatas ang iya nga mama, no? So that would be a reward, that would be a powerful reinforcer as well, no? So amo na ang bal ni B.F. Skinner yan, no? The way we develop language, no, it's through reinforcements, imitations, and practice. Next, let's proceed to the interactionist theory, social plus cognitive. No, so this one naman niya, its main idea, no, it's that language grows through interaction, not just biology or reinforcement alone, no. So in order to develop language, we really need to interact, no. Ang bali ni interactionist theory, hindi lang kay pre-wired or reinforcement kinahanglan natin mag-interact. And children need both a ready brain and social partners who will talk with them, no. So real learning ko no happens in daily interaction. Mapa playtime with other kids, no, mapa during lunch, no, mapa during school time, no, and social interaction makes language meaningful. And out of all the three, this is the most supported theory today, no. Don't you agree with that, class? Even me, no, if I were to choose the tatlo kabilog, I would choose the interactionist theory because it tackles both the not only the social aspect but as the cognitive aspect as well. So those are the three theories now when it comes to language development. Now let's proceed to speech production. How we create speech. So whenever you talk, there are three stages that happens almost instantly. So Those three stages are conceptualization, formulation, and articulation. So when you try to speak, when you try to say something, these are the three stages nga. Gakatabo agad-agad, dululungan, no? So, conceptualization is what do I want to say? Ano ang balong ko man? Formulation, how do I put this into words, no? So, amo na siya mga formulation. And then articulation, the way you say it. So, isa-isa unta sila. First, let's talk about conceptualization. So this is the stage where your brain forms the idea or message. This is how you conceptualize what do you want to say. And for example, if you want to tell your friend nga nagutom ka, you will say, I'm hungry, no? This is where your brain decides the meaning before any sound or word is chosen. No? Before you would articulate it, before you would tell your mouth, no, how to move a certain way in order to produce this sound, this is where you choose. What do you want to say, no? What words ang magwa dapat sa baba mo. Okay? That's how you conceptualize. Dali na din. Next is formulation. So, this is how do I put it into words, no? How do we formulate it? If nakapili na tayo, if naka-conceptualize na tayong hungry, how do I put it into words? No? So, your brain chooses words or lexicon selection, grammar, sentence structure, and then phonological encoding or these sounds. So let's tackle first about lexicon selection. So this is where your brain searches your aka mental dictionary or lexicon for the correct words, no? So sa utok ko no naton may tayong natawag nga lexicon or mental dictionary kaya tanan ta nga vocabulary with meaning, no? For example, because you want to express hunger, your brain picks the word hungry. And if you want naman to ask for help, then your brain might pick help, please, etc. No? Those kind of words nga would ask for help, no? Or typically use nga kumamangkot, mangita ka bulig, no? And for sentence structure or aka grammar, this is how your brain arranges naman, no, the chosen words in correct order. No? So, uh, if nakapili na sila words, no, such as hungry, no, such as help, kung help me, no, this is how naman i-arrange, no, sa inyong brain ang words, no, into a sentence or a grammatically correct sentence. So instead of saying hungry I am, your brain constructs I am hungry. Our kids learning language often makes mistakes here because their grammar system is still developing. So like we've established kagina during 3 years old and above, no, kabalo ng mga bata, no, there is a sentence structure, but it's just that they are still fine-tuning it, no? Because their grammar system are still developing. For example, child says, me want cookie. But an adult might say nga, I want a cookie. Next, phonological encoding or aka sounds. So this is where your brain breaks each word into sounds or aka phonemes and prepares your mouth to say them. For example, hungry becomes the sequence hungry. Na kung isa-isahon mo gid siya, no? That might be the sequence. So this is where your brain breaks that word into into sounds, no, aka phonemes. And your brain will decide how your tongue, lips, and vocal cords will move to produce each sound. Okay? This is during formulation, specifically sa phonological encoding. And after ta na ma-formulate, din masulod ang articulation. No? So, it's how we say it. No, sa balik na to sa last part kagina. Ang bali ba your brain decides how your tongue, lips, and vocal cords will move to produce each sound. Kung sa formulation, drip lang taga-decide kung paano sa articulate, yun na, obra ka na, no? This is the behavior itself. So your mouth, tongue, lips, vocal cords, and lungs work together to produce the sounds. For example, your tongue makes the H sound in hungry and your lips close for the M and No? So that's basically articulation. And why do we need to know all of this? Because some symptoms, no, especially sa mga language development no nga disorders no sa DSM-5, it is because of all of this no nga may guba ila articulation, or they could not formulate well, or they lack conceptualization na. And if mapinpoint naton no, dira lang apart ang reason why nga ang bata hindi makahambal masyado, then we could try to fix it, no? That's why nga ginatun-anta ni sila, no? How do we create speech, etc. Anyways, now that we understand, no, how do we create speech, let's now proceed naman to how we understand speech. This time, ikaw naman ang gapamati, no? Kita naman ang gapamati. So, underneath here, we have recognizing sounds, identifying phonemes, recognizing words, and finding meanings. Also, for recognizing sounds, your ears hear raw sound waves, just vibrations. No? So, uh, sound waves will travel, no? Pagos in yung eardrum, and then in your cochlea, on the organ of Corti, it will extract no, that information, and then it will make sense sa yung mga ulo, no? Kung anong nabatian nimo. Then after that, after we recognize no those vibrations, we will, or your brain will categorize sounds into phonemes, no, or aka basic unit or basic sound unit. So, for example, in English, we have F versus P. No, kumbaga ang phonemes or ang basic sound unit sang F is F, F, or P is P, P. Na. And fun fact class, no? Because nga wala F sound ang Tagalog nor ang Filipino doesn't originally have the F sound. That's one of the reasons why nga damo bata gapinitla no if they uh try to pronounce no something with letter F. For example, they instead of saying fish, a Filipino child might say pish, pish. Because Filipino learners sometimes mix this because again Filipino doesn't originally have the F sound. And for recognizing words, no, it's still the same. The raw waves and just vibrations. For example, bata ang magsulod, you will recognize, that's bata, no? And afterwards, this is where you would find meaning. Finally, your brain will interpret the message. For example, hearing kumain ka na, no? So, this is how you would understand the intention. If ang tone niya, no, with kumain ka na, that is a literal plus caring tone, no? But if mga babe, kaon ka na, aray do namang kot lang gid no? So, this is where your brain will find meaning kung ano gid man abla ang language yung ginhambal niya, no? Or ano blang try niya nga communicate, no? Okay, now let's proceed to common issues in speech. So, we have your articulation errors, stuttering, and speech affected by hearing loss. So, these three are the most common issues kung no, why is it nga hindi hambal lang bata, no, or nga aga stutter ang bata, or nga hindi sa ka-produce no language in general. So, when you say articulation errors, difficulty producing certain sounds. For example, saying pusher instead of pressure, no? Mga hindi bla ka sampot R, no? Imbes nga pressure, mabasa pusher. Or Filipino children saying fish instead of fish. So those are the types of articulation errors, no? One of the common issues in speech. And then we also have stuttering, which are interruptions in the flow of speech. There are two types of stuttering, repeating sounds and prolongations, no? So the repeating sounds ball, no? Or prolongation such as soup. Na those are both of them are considered stuttering. And last but not the least, speech affected by hearing loss. So ari naman niya, hindi ka produce kuno ang bata speeches because hindi sa kabati or may problema sa iya hearing, no? That's why nga hindi siya ka-develop that well, no? When it comes to speech. So these are the three most common issues in speech. And this would be really relevant, no, later on, especially magkagto na kamo sa abnormal psychology ninyo under the neurodevelopmental disorders, because most of this are the symptoms, no, sang mga neurodevelopmental disorders nga under sa language. Okay, language development, such as stuttering, no, articulation errors, etc. Sige, now let's proceed to our half no nga part sa ato nga unit, which is comprehension. So, when we say comprehension, is the process of constructing meaning from language input, no? So, kumbaga daw gina-construct ang meaning sa mga puzzle pieces no sang language in order to form a perfect picture. It is a process of taking words and building meaning, like connecting puzzle pieces to form a complete picture, just like what I've said. And there are 3 levels of comprehension. Word level comprehension, sentence level comprehension, and then discourse level comprehension. So, isa-isahon ta sila. So, when it comes to word level, this is understanding the meaning of individual words, no? So, how do we comprehend language? By word, ang mga isang word level. For example, the word bark can either mean two things. It can either mean ang sound kaido, no? Or bark of a tree. So, your brain picks the correct meaning based on the context, no? Sang sentence or context ang ginahambal sa imong friend, for example. And this level relies on vocabulary knowledge. So, kumbaga, sa word level comprehension, gina-understand mo ang sentence or what he or she trying to say word by word, no? And next, when it comes to sentence level comprehension naman, here the brain combines words into a complete idea. So it involves the boy chased the dog chased the boy. So as you can see here, same words, no? Ang gingamit sa duha ka sentence. But they have different meaning because of sentence structure, aka grammar, no? If we try to use word level comprehension lang, then they might be the same. But if we put sentence level comprehension along with sentence structure, then we would know nga lainanay sila duha, no? So the former, or the first one is ang ido, ang ido ang ginalagas, no? The boy is the chaser. Ang lalaking galagas sa ido. The latter naman, however, the second one is that ang ido ang naglagas sa boy. No, kumbaga sa word level comprehension, word by word ang pag-comprehend. Sa sentence level, by sentence naman ang pag-comprehend nila. So, your brain uses grammar rules and context clues to interpret the message. Okay, next, now let's proceed to discourse level comprehension. So, during this time naman, we try to understand the whole entirety. No? This is understanding longer stretches of languages. Like, for example, stories. No? So, you're not only try to comprehend sentence by sentence or word by word. This time, you're trying to comprehend the whole story itself. Or even the whole conversation itself. No? Or even the whole lecture itself. Or the whole paragraph in a textbook. That is what we say when we say discourse, no? Diba? No, ito yung tatlo ka kind of discourse, narrative, no? Or stories, conversation or conversationals, or lectures and textbook, aka expository. No, that's why nga gin-define tanay si discourse kagina before ta siya input further no into language and comprehension. And this level no needs connecting ideas, tracking characters or topics, understanding cause and effect, and using background knowledge. So as you can see, dako man niya needs no because you're trying to understand na the whole entirety. Next, let's proceed to understanding words no, or word recognition, aka lexical access. This is how we recognize words. And to read and understand words, there are 3 processes that work together: orthographic processing, phonological decoding, and lexical access. So orthographic, meaning we try to recognize letters, shapes, and patterns in written words. Phonological, meaning we try to learn the sounds, no? Or we try to correlate letters with sounds. And lexical access is getting word meaning, no? Retrieving the meaning from memory. So how do we recognize words, no? So orthographic processing. The brain sees the visual patterns, BATA, and identifies it as a familiar word, no? So that's why nga kapos natin mag-comprehenda yon because of orthographic processing, no? If, recognizable man ba lang yung utok, hapos siya dun makuhaan sang meaning. And helps us tell apart similar looking words, for example, form versus from, no? Ang R kag O lang man ang nagsuli ay pero lain na ila meaning. Kag layo ay gid sila yung meaning duwa. Uh, and if you and that thanks to orthographic processing nimo, no, to tell apart, no, similar looking words. Next is phonological decoding. So this is from letters to sound, no, such as CAT, no, it sounds like cat, no. Filipino language use transparent orthography, letter equals sound, which helps children learn faster than in English. Last but not the least, we have lexical access, getting word meaning. So finding the meaning of a word from your mental dictionary. So when you see bark, your brain decides, is it a dog sound or is it a tree covering, no? This process is automatic and very fast and skilled reader. So the more it is kuno nga sagad ka kuno magbasa, no? Ang ibanda nga kadasig-dasig sila magbasa pero makomprehend ba nila dayon? It's because nga maybe they have a good lexical access. Now let's proceed to factors that might influence no word recognition. So those are the process kung amo tong stages ng word recognition. This is the factors naman that might influence it. Word frequency, context, and ambiguity. So when we talk about word frequency, it's that high frequency words are or can be recognized instantly. The more it is kung permi sa ginausar, no? For example, here sa aton PowerPoint in the English vocabulary, no? Ang the, and you, permi mo siya gakita, permi mo siya ginausar. Therefore, mas dasig man siya ma-recognize. Pero for those words nga kis-alang sa malaka nung ginagamit, or aka low frequency words, they require slower or effortful processing. No? Mga kisam lang makita ang mga words bala. Next, let's proceed to context. Ano naman yan? So, surrounding words help the brain choose the correct meaning. For example, she deposited money at the bank. He sat by the bank of the river. No? So, the more it is nga, mas lapit ang context, no, sa mga words, mas hapos mo ma-recognize, no, ang correct na meaning. No? And it depends on context, on how you would recognize words. Ambiguity naman, on the other hand, is that words with more than one meaning slows down recognition. So what do we mean by this? For example, to kagina sa bark, no? Bark could either mean taghol kay do or covering sa isa ka, bark of a tree. And the more it is ambiguous, no, ang isa ka word, the more it is nga mas slow down ang recognition kuno sang isa ka tao, no. So for example, a Filipino example here, suka or suka. No, it could either mean vinegar na suka or nagsuka ka, vomit. Sisi or sisi. No, it's either ginasisi ta ka blame or kaunta sisi ang small abla nga shell class aw. No, so these kinds of words are ambiguous, or it could either be puno. Another example here. Puno might be tree, or full, puno na, or leader, punong barangay, no? And then asawa. No, asawa might be husband or wife. Pito or pito, no? Seven or whistle. Tayo or tayo. Oh, tayo nga stand or tayo kita. As you can see, this words, no, are ambiguous in nature and it might slow down recognition. So amo na mga bata ambiguity. Next, let's proceed to parsing or understanding sentence. Okay, so parsing is the brain's process of building sentence structure in real time as you read or listen. So our brain kuno interprets sentences as they come. Wala na siya wala pang matapos bago iya i-chindihon ang mga words nga ga-present sa iya, no? So you don't wait for the whole sentence. You interpret it as it comes, no? So have you remember during our prelims, no, we've talked about cascade processing. So that's basically parsing no nga makasabay ta maglantaw movie samtang basa sa subtitle, no? Why is it nga for samtang flash da ang mga subtitles, ma-interpret ta Japon, ma-comprehend ta Japon. It's because of your brain's process to parse, no, or parsing. And while this is helpful, no, this could also be a double-edged sword, no? And one of its main challenges is the garden path sentences, which are misleading at first, no? So for example, read this sentence below. The old man the boats. At first, mambal ka, ala, parang grammar man sir man. Because at first you would think ang old man is a noun phrase. But actually, the man is a verb, no? Which means to operate. Kumbaga ang meaning ka sentence, ang mga tigulang, sila ang gaman sang boat, no? Sila ang ga-operate sang boat. Ang mga tigulang ang ga-operate sang boat. The old man the boats, no? So ambiguity in grammar and meaning and need for working memory to hold earlier parts of the sentence. So next, let's proceed to strategies for sentence completion. So we have your top-down processing, bottom-up processing, and then pragmatics. So for top-down processing, no, understanding starts with your expectations, background knowledge, and context clues. So I think you're familiar with this naman because we've tackled this already, no, sa ating prelim. And your brain predicts what the sentence should mean. You use what you already know about the topic, situation, or culture. Helps fill in gaps or unclear parts of sentences. So when it comes to comprehension, this is where context and expectation, no, helps you in order to comprehend the sentences, no? If someone says, during the typhoon, the streets were, because we have top-down processing, your brain already expects or is expecting, basi nag-flood, no? Basi slippery, dangerous, etc. So that is top-down processing. Next is bottom-up processing. So in regard to sentence completion, this is where you understanding begins with the smallest pieces, letters and then words, letters to sounds and then words and then into grammar and then into meaning, no? And it is here you analyze each word carefully. You rely on vocabulary knowledge. You combine the words to build the full meaning. For example, sentence, the dog chased the cat. You decode word by word until you build the full idea. Kumbaga, ang main concept ni bottom-up processing when it comes to sentence completion is that you decode it word by word. The dog, ang ido, chase, ginlaot sang ido ang ano, the cat. Ginlaot sang ido ang ring. So that is how you would comprehend the sentence. Ang muna si bottom-up processing. And then we also have pragmatics, no? Ano naman ang pragmatics? Pragmatics is understanding what people really mean, not just what they say. So meaning depends on tone, situations, and cultural habits. Filipino often communicate indirectly. For example, kain. Kain, it's not just eat, no? But an invitation to join, no? Have you ever said no kaunta without really implying tagaan mo siya, no? Or to share your food, no? And sometimes, it could be nga, mambal sa kain kay tungaid ka mo sa pagkaon, no? So, that's pragmatics. No? Or bahala ka could mean for frustration or giving up, not simply it's up to you, no? Pragmatics helps us understand the message behind the words, no? This is where we establish, anong tone niya ayan, anong situation, kag anong culture behind it. So let me give you another example para mas matsindihan. Kaagi na mo ginambalance ang mga migo nyo or miga nyo or inyong mama kag papa or utod. For example, ano oras na? Sa tingin nyo, class, pamangkot na sa kung ano oras na? 'Di ba? It could either mean nga late ka or it either mean nga wala ka pa kapuli or puli na. No, kay akig na ko. So that is pragmatics. We need pragmatics, no, in order to comprehend ano gid lang gina-imply, no, sa isa ka sentence or ginahambal sang isa ka tawo. So another example, ma'am, balbing tao, okay lang. No, so kung ikaw, you are very ano be, ah kung ikaw mapati ka lang nga okay siya, sorry. So okay lang, no, could mean I'm hurt but I don't want to say it directly. So with knowing the situation with pragmatics, you would know nga hindi na siya okay, dapat storyahan ko gina siya. Okay, next, let's proceed to thought and language. So language expresses thought. You know, class, that there's a myth, no, na hindi ta kuno kapanumdom kung wala ang language. But that's not true, no? That's why it's a myth. Because sometimes gapanumdom man ta sa mga images or even feelings, 'di ba? That one time na feeling bula ka nami gid sang amo ni amo to, or even actions. That's why gani may rata mental representation, 'di ba? Because we don't need language to think. But then again, language helps us express our own thoughts, no? So we use words so others can understand what's in our mind. For example, if you're hungry, you say, I'm hungry. You're putting your inner feelings into language. But thinking can happen without words. We can think using mental images, emotions, or actions. For example, when you imagine riding a bike, wala ka man naguro ka panumdum language, you don't need language. No, you don't say words in your mind. You just picture it that you're riding a bike. And there's a pamangkot no nga, can language shape the way we think? And this idea, no, comes from the Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, which says language influences, but it does not control how we think, no? So amo lang ginang tandaan nyo sa Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, no, in terms of language nga language ga-impluwensya sa pero wala siya ga-control sa imong nga own thoughts. So that's why the next time nga ga-overthink ikaw, napamatud-an na, no, in psychology nga your own language doesn't control you. You could still stop your overthinking. You could still stop the behavior, no? Yes, it might influence you to be sad, no, to do certain things, but don't say nga ginimo mo na because you're out of control, no? Because you're overthinking this and that, no? Because based sa Sapir-Whorf hypothesis, language might influence but it doesn't mean nga ginakontrol ya imo the way you think. So, but thinking can happen without words. For example, your language may guide or highlight certain ways of noticing the world, but it does not imprison your mind. So, yes, different languages really highlights no different concepts, but no language traps the mind. You can use language to guide or highlight certain ways in order to notice ang aton nga kalibutan. But then again, it does not imprison your mind. Okay, finally, let's talk about dyslexia. Dyslexia is a specific learning difficulty that affects accurate and fluent reading even with normal intelligence and proper instruction. So the common signs of dyslexia: slow decoding, no? Takes longer to read words, difficulty matching letters, sounds, no, or aka phonics. The child might have poor phonics, word omissions or substitutions while reading, no, ginaisla nila or omit nilang iban nga words nga nabudlayan sila magbasa. Poor spelling, sala-salang spelling, no, inconsistent. Kis-a sa plesia, letter E, kis-a letter I, kis-a wala A, no? Or phonological processing issues, no? So may ara sa trouble breaking down and manipulating sounds. So let me ask you, class, no? If a person has dyslexia, does that mean that the person might have low IQ? So to answer that, no, most of the time, no. Okay, dyslexia doesn't equals to low intelligence. No, like 90% of the time, it is because of something else. No, that's why nga ginto na antay kaginang common issues in speech like articulation errors, stuttering, big or even phonological processing issues such as nabudlayan sila magmanipulate no sang ilang ba or maybe there's something physical nga or physiological nga impairment no sa mouth sang bata no nga need nga stitches para maging okay, no, or maging fluent siya magambal, no? So that might be it as well. But it's not always associated, no, with low intelligence. There are some cases nga maybe because nubo-nubo na gid yang IQ, no, to the point be 20 na or 30, then araya lain naman na yang ano no form of dyslexia, no? And that's very rare. But anyways, let's go back, no? So what might be the cognitive causes of dyslexia? Phonological deficits, struggle hearing and manipulating sounds, rapid naming difficulties, no? Slow at naming letters, numbers, or colors quickly, no? So kainay sa basa sang letter or number or color, weak working memory, no? Hard to hold sounds in mind while blending them. But then again, no, even though they have these cognitive causes, no, still many dyslexic learners, they still excel, no, in big picture thinking, uh, creativity, and even problem solving, no, and early support, no, can dramatically improve naman ang outcomes when it comes to dyslexic ng mga children. So, kumbaga, there's still hope, no, there's always hope for dyslexic nga children with specific learning styles ma-develop lang man na. Effective supports, no, speaking of which, structured literacy programs, multi-sensory instruction, extra time in exams, and assistive technology. So when you say structured literacy programs, explicit step-by-step teaching of phonics, no, the way the sound, the way letter works, no, spelling, and decoding. By helping the child, no, mamatamat lang na-develop ang language development. Multisensory instruction uses visual cues, no, auditory cues, and even kinesthetic cues to help teach the children or dyslexic children, no, ma-overcome ya ang iyang dyslexia. Extra time in exam, so if the teacher knows, no, nga dyslexic ang bata, try niya nga tagaan more time ng bata. This goes to reduce pressure and mamatamat man learn sang bata no paano mag read, paano mag decode no sang binabasa niya, etc. And then assistive technology, text to speech, audiobooks, reading apps, speech to text writing tools all could help no in order to para maging better no ang dyslexic nga child. And that ends our discussion for Unit 8 and 9. And I hope nga may na-learn mga mo class, no? And see you sa aton nga Unit 10, which is intelligence, if wala nyo pa nakita. And good luck sa inyong end-term exams. And if you have a question, feel free to ask me, gali. If makita nyo ko sa eskwelahan, then ask me. Hindi ka mamoya. Okay, bye-bye everyone. Take care.